This is an update to our Bari Reef video with revised information about pier access. If you watched the original, site logistics is the only section that changed. If this is your first time, feel free to watch the entire video. Enjoy! Fun fact: we've just crossed the 100 dive count on Bonaire over the last 5 months, and Bari Reef is the only one where we've seen DPVs. On 2 separate occasions. We'll start this video with a quick note. We dove Bari Reef while they were building a new resort. The construction has impacted the approach to parking, the entry point, and may ultimately impact some of the shoreline shallows, all of which may very well change by the time the resort is complete. When it does, we will come back with updated information. But rest assured, it is still a fantastic dive site. Perhaps one of our top 5 on Bonaire. In fact, despite the construction, people still come just to enjoy the scenery. The view of the shoreline, boats, and Klein Bonaire probably beat the average backyard. Plus, Bonaire's topside nature can still be found. These birds were louder than the machinery, and probably the inspiration for the seagulls in Finding Nemo. You can also enjoy the view from Breeze and Bites. The on-site restaurant has good food and friendly iguanas. When it comes to the water, you don't have to dive to have a good time. It's also a great place to snorkel. The shallows go out almost 100 feet in some places, and the variety of underwater landscapes create opportunities to see animals grazing, cruising, schooling, and resting. But if you do come for diving, you're in for a treat. We had 5 first-time captures here, including this flame box crab, these night sergeants, a whitefin sharksucker hanging out with a tarpon, a 2-spine sea star, and a quill worm. We also saw another frogfish and an octopus out for a hunt, both day and night. More and longer creature clips are coming up, but this is the part where we ask for your subscription. If you enjoy these videos, consider subscribing to our channel and hitting the like button. We're also seeing more comments these days and enjoy interacting with you guys, so go ahead and ask a question. Let us know what you saw at Bari Reef, or give us a suggestion. Thanks! Smiley faces. Bari Reef is about 1.5 miles north of downtown Krylendijk. Take Kaya Gobernander de Glistebrut to the roundabout. Turn off at the 3rd exit, and proceed to the shore. The driveway is dirt and gravel with large potholes and puddles, even by Bonaire standards. While there is plenty of parking, both along the shore and the fence behind the Denleman condominiums, there are no shady spots for your vehicle. Gear setup is best at home or your car. However, note that the dirt can make things kind of messy. There are no amenities right here, but we should mention a few things in the area. First, if you turn right after exiting the roundabout and then make a quick left, there is a Dive Friends outpost right in front of Denleman. You can rent tanks from them or a complete setup. They also have bathrooms, rinse tanks, and even little wagons to transport equipment to your car. which is nice. Looking down the cement ramp from the bathrooms, it's easy to get excited about the big pier. With its shaded tank area, nice metal staircase, rows of benches to set up equipment, and rinse tanks. As tantalizing as it all looks, those facilities are owned by Seaside Ventures and are only available to its shareholders and guests renting condominiums at either Dunlaman or Sand Dollar. Unfortunately, the public is not allowed to use them, even when registered with or renting gear from dive friends. That said, there are stairs right next to the pier that lead down to the beach. Back at the parking lot, there is a yellow entry-exit marker on the ground that shows where to walk down the rock and dirt embankment. Once at the shore, most divers walk to the sandy beach behind Dunlaman. It gets rocky, so be careful. From the beach, entry is a piece of cake. The reef is a short swim over sandy shallows. As with many of the shore dive sites on Bonaire, boats are often over the reef, and the pier is a loading point for boat dives. Please be careful and pay attention whenever near the surface. From shore, the reef sits at 260 degrees west, which means 80 degrees east is the heading for lunch. Outside of the sandy beach entry, most of the coastline underwater consists of fairly large rocks, which create tons of crevices and hiding places for juveniles. Beyond the rocks, there is a large swath of sand, punctuated by the occasional coral or sponge, and boat moorings. We highly recommend checking out the sand. Leslie describes my affinity for the shallows as a bit of an Easter egg hunt, but you never know when you might come across a flame box crab. Other creatures that like the sand include reticulated hermit crabs, flounder, and of course, sand divers. The reef begins at the drop-off, where a considerable number of fish congregate, including, believe it or not, brown chromis. The reef itself has a few notable aspects. For example, there are quite a few rope or rope sponges, and they can get quite large. Seriously, there are a lot. Also, while certainly not rife with trash, we did come across discarded items now and again. Almost all of it appeared to be quite old. And you will see sandy patches and chutes while swimming over the reef. Here are some examples of what the terrain looks like down to 100 feet. The shallows here are amazing, with several distinct areas to explore. There are several strips of staghorn coral debris in the sand that will probably have juveniles and other creatures like giant anemone, some with spotted cleaner shrimp, and others with squad anemone shrimp. Don't just admire the boat moorings from far away, they often have coral and fish hanging around. This one appears to be an apartment complex for blennies. And a juvenile lionfish found a bit of protection in this one. The dive pier is also a great place to spot critters. But stay away from the end, as divers often take giant strides. To the left are the remains of an old pier that is just visible from the surface, but is absolutely fantastic underwater. We're not sure how it's going to end up after the resort construction completes, but for now, it's like an aquarium. We've shown Sergeant Majors before, but the two with brown stripes and a protruding upper lip are pretty rare night sergeants. Three-roed sea cucumbers may not be the most exciting animals, but they do come in a variety of colors and patterns. Although we caught this octopus out on the hunt in the shallows, the sea life goes pretty deep. We saw a school of horse-eyed jacks down around 90 feet, and these gray snapper around 100. This tarpon let Leslie get exactly one shot of it. She also came across a very friendly queen angelfish that really liked playing with air bubbles. There is so much to see here. Check out these other clips of things we saw while diving Bari Reef. Bari Reef after the sun went down had quite a few surprises for our group. Either this scorpionfish couldn't be bothered, or this sharp-tailed eel has nerves of steel. The tarpon were pretty relaxed. One was accompanied by a whitefin sharksucker, which was a first-time capture for us. This two-spined sea star was another first-time capture, and was particularly interesting because it crawled without moving its arms. Speaking of crawling, this is a quill worm. It builds a translucent tube from secreted mucus, and then drags it along like a protective mobile home. And I'm still trying to track down what kind of brittle star this is. In addition to various sleeping fish, and a free-swimming spotted moray eel, here is a sampling of other things you might see on a Bari Reef night dive. Enjoy!